What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. So this is your finals for the world, the Yugioh World's Championship 2015. They're live streaming it right now. I'm watching this live. You guys won't see it on my channel live. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, but obviously this is happening in Japan. Looks like you have Surteller Knights versus, this is an unknown deck. You've got Syunsuke Hiyama versus Galileo, de Obomdia or Abaldia. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what country that is, but I know I can't pronounce it. So Syunsuke opened with Thunder King Ryo, and Galileo just kind of set a couple. He set 3 back row, and when Syunsuke went to summon another monster, he hit him with Torrential. The monster he summoned was Unu, and he used that to dump the Neb. Obviously, he looks like he's going to recover all his assets with a big Soul Charge play. It's going to cost him 3,000 life points, though. I mean, he has to be reading that the Thunder King Ryo, see, yeah, he pays the 3,000. He has to be reading that the Thunder King Ryo is obviously hurting his opponent. I'm not sure at Worlds if they know each other's deck list. I would imagine you couldn't really rely on things like word of mouth because, you know, players speak different languages. Stuff might not get around. So, looks like they all used the world's sleeves and playmat. He went in, what's it called? Planamitos. And I believe he's just telling his opponent he wants to go ahead and attach a material. Oh, no, never mind. Looks like Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit stopped that. He's main decking it. Wow. So, rejected, I guess you could say. He was probably attempting to attach like a Trevier or a Diamond to it, maybe even a Deltaros, and then maybe rank up into a, well, I say rank up, but it has a built-in rank up as part of its effect. He probably wanted to rank up into, a Pallades. Like, that seems to be, players have been doing that all through this tournament. They've just been going into Pallades and Tellarknights like all the time. So, ooh, flips over Royal to Cree. And if that's a Call of the Haunted or something like that, or, well, if it was a Call of the Haunted, it would have changed. Oh man, looks like this is going to be bad news as he has Ice Hand now. Unless it's Book of Moon. If it's Book of Moon, then... Oh, get wrecked, scrub! Get wrecked! Oh, get wrecked! Oh no! That's the worst possible thing it could have been. And look at the chat. You see people say wrecked. Oh, get wrecked, dude! That was the worst thing it could have been. A Mystical Space Typhoon's even worse than a Book of Moon because you lose your monster, you lose your decree, you lose everything. And Syunsuke, if I'm Syunsuke now, I'm now reading. If you're playing decree, I know that you more than likely are not playing a lot of defensive traps. So whatever I have in my hand, I can pretty much go as hard as I want and not really have, I know I saw the torrential and whatnot, but still, it's a limited card. I know, see, you see him summoning like Honest. The reason he's doing this is because you now know don't respect anything your opponent sets because you don't have, you probably, torrential and vanities are probably like the only traps in your deck that aren't decree. Because, I mean, you can't run but so many traps and run decree too. So you'll see him obviously bounce Honest. He just wants to get him battle damage. So you see him hit him for 3,000 damage there. And the Thunder King Ryo is just putting in work. And what's really good about that exchange is the hand should have been out to a thing like Thunder King Ryo. And, I mean, you can't, like, if you're Galileo, you can't, you can't expect to just rip a Fire Hand or something like that. So, I think if you're Syunsuke, you're in a great position. Even if you don't have any back row, it just... Thunder King Ryo is obviously hurting whatever the heck that Galileo's playing. Which, I still don't know what it is. I'm sure that they've announced what he's playing, but... Until I can actually get, like, a fix. Oh, he does have a Fire Hand! This guy's ripping! Alright, so you'll see, obviously, him crash. And... Thunder King should go down. He might be thinking about using Honest. I wouldn't. I mean, he does have to eat, what, 300 damage? Okay, so down goes Thunder King Ryo. He'll get an Ice Hand. If Syunsuke has any monster in his hand that isn't Honest, I mean, he should be able to get over Ice Hand relatively easy, unless he puts it in defense mode or something like that. Like, if he has an Altier or something like that, he could get over that card very easily. Now, clearly Thunder King was putting in a lot of work. I mean, this could even be Shadows, who knows? I mean, from what we've seen, the monsters we've seen from Galileo's deck are, we've seen Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, Fire Hand, and Ice Hand. So, like, that could just, I don't even know what that is. That could be like Hat or something like that. It could be New Age Hat. So I think they're just trying to get the life point squared away. Syunsuke is going to take 14 more. And you see him swing, dropping him to 36. Math for the win. I mean, and this match is moving very quickly. Now you see Galileo set another card. Again, I'm not buying it if I'm Syunsuke. You're playing Royal Decree, and you already used Torrential, so like I'm not buying it. I'm pretty much gonna try and go as ham as possible. I kind of think it's interesting him running Honest in the main deck, but the thing about Worlds is when you lose certain cards from your main deck, well, he's from the OCG, so like he's not used to playing 3 Rota anyways. But generally, when people play decks that are still really good at Worlds, like Cleaforts or Tellarknights, you do have to make some adjustments, and also you don't want to like lose the towers and shit. So, you know, you lose 2 Rotas, and maybe you throw in a couple of Honest. Like I think that's legitimate. You throw in 2 Honest. Although if I was running Tellarknights with only 1 Rota, I would probably have, like, I would already main 3 Call to Honnets, but I'd have to add in like an Oasis or something. Cause I'm definitely gonna main deck 3 Unus. Like that's instant. So I need ways of getting like my Denebs back super quick. Usually I would just main deck the 3 Call to Haunteds and a Soul Charge, but I would throw in an Oasis too. And I'd probably run double Honest. So I'd run like 41 card deck. Alright, so it's gonna depend on what he has. Oh, setting a card in the back row. Possibly setting that Honest face down. He couldn't flip over another Royal Decree, could he? Okay, I think Galileo has 1 card in hand. Looking at his graveyard again. I mean, I think it would be foolish of him to attack. Looks like he wants to activate something. Oh, no, maybe he changed in his mind. Yeah, I think it'd be foolish of him to attack. There's the odds say that that's Honest, that's set. I mean, Honest has 1900 defense. Like, why take 500 damage for no reason? You know, you're only at 4200. You have the life point lead, not by a lot. Like, don't take free damage, especially when he could just put the Honest in his hand and just reset it again. Like, there's no reason to do that. You probably know that. I mean, I guess there's an off chance it could be like Vega or something, but even still, you'd still take battle damage. So is he gonna activate something? Wow, another Royal Decree. Okay. So, like, what was the purpose of that if you don't have like a follow-up play? I'm trying to figure out what the point of the Royal Decree is if you don't have like I mean, maybe he's gonna like exceed into like a Castel and like attack the Honest or something. Activates Preparation of Rites. Okay, so this is definitely Necros. So he'll be able to get himself. He has no ritual spells in his grave. We know that. So it's like Necros, just super teched out version, and he's main decking Royal Decrees. And they said that's how he beat some Tellarknight players. Well, how he won his top 4 match. You know, this pretty much the bane of Tellarknights, especially if he's getting multiple, what's it called? Like multiple Royal Decrees in his first like 6 cards. Okay, so it looks like he's gonna search. Looks like he wants to summon that Colossalus. Or excuse me, he wants to summon that Unicorn. Now, Unicorn is limited, so it's limited in the OCG, so it's limited here. Now, he could make a lot of advantage off of this because I'm fairly certain he's fixing to attack the face down monster with Unicorn, then attack directly with Ice Hand, and then make that Gustal Emerald to get back all of those cards. I mean, maybe there's another play, but I think that would be the best play here. Because you'd have Trishula, plus you'd have an abundance of cards. Now, if Syunsuke didn't actually, if he didn't set the honest, which again we're not sure that that's honest, but if he didn't set it, he would actually just lose here. Like, he'd have more than enough battle damage to attack and make Cowboy and just win. I think what he has on field is already enough to kill him, but I mean, he'd have Cowboy on top of that just to be like, just to have the extra damage, but he would have definitely lost. Oh, never mind. His set was what's it called? Looks like his set was actually a Necros mirror. So that's definitely GG for game 1. Unless, I don't know, man. Syunsuke is not scooping though. So it's taking out one card. Obviously, he's going to take down the face down monster. Maybe he has a Book of Moon won't save him. I don't know what would save him here other than like scapegoats or something. Okay, so what else? Alright, so Honest. So Telenova Alpha and still no scoop phase yet. Okay, there you go. There's a scoop. It was a breakthrough skill set. And as much as the Thunder King Ryo helped, in fact, I don't know. I feel like it actually slowed down Syunsuke, because when he soul charged, like, he had Ryo, but he also could have used Deneb, and like I feel like he could have snowballed from there. You know what I mean? Like, the Thunder King Ryo was helping, but it was also hurting. So the Royal Decree definitely did him in there. If it had not been for Royal Decree, he could have had breakthrough skill to stop the Trishula. Technically, he still would have lost, actually, because I mean, if he had been reading it as Honest, he could have just attacked, and just kind of won from there. Once Thunder King went down to the Fire Hand, to that top decked Fire Hand, man, that was pretty much it. So, alright, we'll go on to game 2. Players are going to shuffle up. I mean, I think that this matchup is pretty even, because it's not like Galileo is running. It's not like he's running I wouldn't say like a great version of Necroz, because you see him have to add in Fire Hand and Ice Hand and Ghost Ogre, like all these other random cards to like try and make the deck work. But I mean, it has to have consistency issues like up the wazoo. But I mean, he's in finals, but again, it's only like 30 players that play in Worlds. So this is definitely not the best version of Necroz you're ever going to see. Now, Sutella Knight's pretty much the same deck, just minus 2 Rotas. It's pretty much the same exact deck. I'd keep my MSTs in. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. I might take out some of those breakthrough skills, because, I mean, he's running the hands and stuff. I don't think anybody runs D-Prison in Sutella Knights anymore. I would definitely take out Mirror Force, because those are just going to get eaten up by the hands, and the card's only, it's okay against Necroz, not great against Necroz regardless. Now, siding against this deck could be difficult. You know what? A card that he probably doesn't have, but would be amazing against Galileo's version, Debunk. Debunk would be so strong right now, because Debunk would hit the hands, their graveyard effects, and it would hit the Necroz anytime that they wanted to activate from the hand, which obviously is going to be pretty much any turn. Like, you're going to use some Necroz. I mean, you're going to use Brionic pretty much as soon as you get it. You'll probably use Colossalus in hand as well. And then you might use Unicorn, even though it's limited. So, you know, a lot of hand effects going off. Now, even with Royal Decree, I think I would still go second with Sutella Knights. Like, I feel like you need the extra card, and there should be no way that Galileo's deck should be more. There should be no way possible his deck should be more consistent than yours. You're running pure Sutella Knights. There should be no way his deck should be consistent. So I'd go second. I'd want to try and make him brick. I would want to try and make him get a hand of like Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, Fire Hand, you know, Necroz, Mirror, Trishula. Like some random shit was like, what do I do with it? Like, you can't do shit. You can't do anything with that hand. You know what I mean? So I would go second. I know going first means you get your defense set up with Tellarknights, but with one Rota, there's a legitimate chance you will not open with Deneb. And the TCG with 3 Rotas and dualities, like you always get to Deneb turn 1, but without the Rotas, man, I'm going second. I'm definitely having 3 MSTs, so come at me with your roll decrees. And if he's playing Diamond Direwolf, it's not that big of a problem, because if you're playing Diamond Direwolf and your opponent has a set card in this matchup and they just won't activate it, just blow it up. Because chances are it could be Royal Decree and you don't want to auto lose to it. If it's a mirror, then whatever, but if it's Royal Decree, like, don't auto lose to it, because when they flip it up, yeah, you can Castell it, but like, you have to live. If they just kill you after they flip Royal Decree over, then it doesn't matter if you could have Castelled it. You're dead. So like, I'd rather just go for it. Go for Diamond Direwolf. Try and blow up a set card. If it's a mirror, then oh well. I mean, it's not the end of the world. If it's the Royal Decree, then you're in great shape. So they're going to game 2. We'll figure out who's going first and second momentarily. And I mean, I guess my rooting interest is with Sir Tellarknights, the helmet deck. Mainly still a little disdain from the blue deck from Necroz. And also, I don't want to see this version. Like, I don't want to see a junkyard Necroz deck win. You know what I mean? I think, yeah, okay. So Syunsuke is opting to go second. Very smart. I wouldn't, there's no way I would go first. Again, if there were 3 Rotas, it'd be different. But with 1 Rota, just, it's no point. Because if you don't get Deneb or Ryo, you've wasted your turn 1. And also, I don't really feel like, especially with only 1 Unicorn, like, I don't really feel like there's any great plays. And you see, Galileo just passes. This is exactly why you go second. Because if you don't open with Royal Decree, like, what the fuck? You gonna summon an Ice Hand turn 1? Set a Fire Hand? Like, you can't set Ice Hand, because what if I just ram in? Like, if you set a monster and Necroz, like, I'll ram into that shit with Deneb, because I don't care if Deneb dies. Like, I'll just get Altier. Like, I don't give a fuck if he dies or not. That actually, for the most part, helps me. So let's see if he has one of his power openings, which would obviously be Ryo or Deneb. Deneb being, to me, a better power opening, because it combos with Alpha Nova and shit like that. Also, it's much more expendable. If it dies, you just don't care, because you'll summon it back with Altier or Call to Haunted or something else. I feel like he's just gonna like set 3 and pass, which I don't think would be the best. I mean, I don't want to say it's not gonna be the best play. Just sets 2 and pass, not wanting to, neither player committing any monsters to the board. Interesting. Now, on the off chance that Syunsuke did actually have some D-Prisons, I'd bring him in. And once again, Galileo not committing anything to the board. Is he running like Gores or something in this build? I also think Deneb does really well against Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. It's practically immune to the card. Because, again, you just don't care. Like, I think it kind of hurts Altier a little. Not really. Both players playing extremely passive. This is where cards like Rhoda and Pot of Duality are just priceless. You see that 1 back row. If you have MS, oh, nope, not even setting it. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'd have 7 cards now, so he has to commit something. If you have Mystical Space Typhoon, just hold on to it. Don't blind MST. Just wait for the Royal Decree and then MST it. And if you have Alpha Nova, wait for the decree. Like, wait for it. You want to make sure you get that card off the board so you don't lose to it. But at this point, okay, finally, we see a Tellarknight. I was afraid that Syunsuke just wasn't playing any. And you see him just summon Vega and attack. I think that play is actually not bad, because he has 3 back row to protect it. And we know, like it's already been established, he plays Honest. So you can't just summon anything and try and attack over it. Maybe like an Ice Hand or something. Oh, he's using Skybridge. So he's going to get an attack off, and he's still going to get a Deneb. And he'll get Altier as well. Okay, so I guess Skybridge is technically like it's almost like a Rhoda in this situation. It just requires you to already have one Tellarknight. It also seems pretty decent against Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, Effect Veiler, and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty good against Effect Veiler. So, I mean, he should get a good chunk of, it's a quick play, should get a good chunk of battle damage in this turn. I mean, I've never used Skybridge in any of my Tellarknight decks just because there's never been a need to. There's never, I don't think that, like, I think they made Skybridge once per turn. I find that unnecessary. Brings out Deneb in defense mode. I think he's a little fearful of the hands right now. Yeah, I think he's realizing it would just be better if Galileo had a hand monster. Like, it'd just be better to have my Deneb die than to have you wreck up my back row and my, and my Deneb die in the process too. So he's just putting it out in defense mode, foregoing the 1500 life points. Just saying, I'm not going to lose to an ice hand. Basically, I'm not losing to an ice hand. All right, now I wonder if Galileo will. Oh my! And you see him set 2 more back row. You have to imagine that is probably a bluff that Galileo has set now, because you have to keep in mind, if he didn't set a card, he just would have started having to discard cards because he has like 6 in hand. So that could easily be like a Necros cycle or some shit. You know what I mean? He could have Denko Sekka, but he'd have to like flip over the face down card. Otherwise, Denko would have no effect, and he could just like bottomless it. So Denko's actually not the great, unless it's like an MST and he goes like MST Denko, then like, yeah, that'd be great. Like that would do something, but, setting more cards. Okay. I really don't think Necros is going to beat you with back row unless the back row is Royal Decree. Like, I feel like that's the only way Necros will beat Sertellanites with back row. Because you're not going to outgrind Sertellanites with Necros. It's just not going to happen. And you see him immediately go for that Unu. I'm going to say there's like a 90% chance that he's going to go for a Call of the Haunted play like this turn. I think Trevor's about to happen. I don't think you have 5 back row and like no Call to Haunted or an Oasis. If he flips over Oasis, don't be like, Cap, you were wrong. It's the same thing. I feel like he's about to dump a Deneb. I think he's going to put everything in attack mode. He's going to push. I think in the battle phase, he's going to flip over Call to Haunted. He's going to get that Deneb. He's going to search out tier. He's going to push for more damage. And then he's going to Trevor. And it'll obviously be on Galileo to try and respond. That's what I'm reading right now. Because why would you search Unu instead of Altier unless you already A, had Altier, or B, you had Call to Haunted set. Like that's what I'm reading. Now I'm reading maybe he might have another Deneb in his hand. I'm still, look, the point is I'm still reading that he has a Call to Haunted set. And I'm still reading that he's going to go for a major push this turn. That's what I'm reading right now. Now, if Galileo has like Max E, obviously he'd shut this play down completely. But I think there's like 0 chance that he'll just attack with Unu and just pass. I think he'll swing for the 33. That's 15 and 18. That's 3,300. I think you'll see him flip over a Call to Haunted or an Oasis. Let's see if he goes for it. I'm like 90% sure he's going to do it. And I feel like he's going to summon like a random Teller. I feel like he might even summon like Altier now out of his hand. Like any random Tellarknight with Vega's effect. It could be another Deneb, but that would be like too perfect. So I'm not going to say it's another Deneb. I'm going to say it's like another random Tellarknight. Flip over that Call to Haunted, homie. I know you have it. There's the Call to Haunted. Okay. Again, we're telegraphing this. He's going to go for Vega. And I don't think he's summoning Deneb, because that's too perfect. He's going to summon a random Tellarknight. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Altier. See, Royal Decree does not help here because he could just go for Castel. Or he goes for Mystical Space Typhoon. I would not be shocked if he flipped over another Call to Haunted. I would not be shocked. Don't use Alpha Nova. Save that shit. If you have Alpha Nova, save it. Just let the Call to Haunted die. Okay, so there's the play breaker. Oh, I thought he was going to flip over another Call to Haunted. I was about to be like, this guy has everything. Oh, Oasis of the Dragon Soul. Same thing. So clearly he's trying to go for Trevor. I feel like summon Altair. Oh, it was an Unu. Okay. I knew it wasn't going to be a good one. There's Torrential. There's the Alpha Nova. Now is when you rip the Alpha Nova. There it is. Yeah, now is when you use Satella Nova Alpha. When you're about to lose like 4 monsters, that's when you can use it. And now you can make Trevor and just win because Royal Decree's irrelevant now. Now is when you just make the push and win. And this is where Satella Knights will not be outgrinded when you make this much advantage. Looks like he's going to use Unu's effect, which would obviously activate in another chain. I guess he's trying to decide if he wants to use the effect or not. I guess he he's passing on the effect. I would drop Altair in the graveyard. Because I'm going to get my Oasis back anyway from Trevor, so I was like, why not? You know what I mean? I'm assuming that Trevor's going to happen. Unless Galileo has, unless he has Valor in hand, at which point I believe he would have like no hand left. So there's Trevor. After taking a mess of battle damage, he could have like Black Hole in Heaven or some shit. Ooh, activates Book of Moon. Unfortunately, that will only save. I don't know if I like that. The reason I say I don't know if I like that play is because essentially what you're saying is I'm discarding my Book of Moon instead of discarding the card in my hand. Because that's all you're doing. You're taking the -1 from Book of Moon instead of taking the -1 from your hand. You're not killing the Trevor, so the only difference is you lost the Book of Moon instead of losing your hand. It's not like Trevor was going to attack you or anything. It's just going to take a card out of your hand. So, unless your hand is really, really good. Now, maybe he can capitalize with like a Denko play into like Trishul or some shit. That would be really good, but aside from that, it should be really hard for him to come back, knowing that he will get an Altair search and, a Deneb search, and if he doesn't kill Trevor this turn, he had better get everything out of his hand. Cause something, Trevor is going to take his pound of flesh. So I think this match is heavily, also no, you couldn't crash Fire and Ice Hand into Trevor anyways. Like everybody summons Trevor in defense mode. And this is where Galileo's, this is where his pick of Necrons becomes really bad, because when you have to add in all of that filler stuff like Fire Hand and Ice Hand and, Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit into the main deck, like it's just, you just get clusterfuck hands. And when Syunsuke can just run Teller Knights as they are without adding anything into the deck, this is where consistency is just king. And Necros is one of the most, especially when it had, 3 copies of Preparation of Rites, like one of the most consistent decks ever. So, he kind of had to adjust because, certain cards. Is that a Flame Ghost? What? Summoning Colossalus. Okay. So you see him summon Colossalus. The issue is, Colossalus can't technically hold its ground. Because, if he uses Oasis of the Dragon Souls right now, and he gets Deneb, and he just searches out, I don't know, any random Teller Knight. He has Denko. Okay, he can do some stuff now. He can do some stuff. Alright, so Denko changes everything. Because what I was gonna say is, with the, if he would have just let him play Oasis, then he could have just gotten, he could have made a Castel and you know what I mean? He could have just made a Castel, forced it out, and then just made, went Trevor, went into Diamond, you know what I mean? He would have eventually got over the Colossalus. All he had to do is just make 2 things that are bigger than it. Colossalus once per turn, so let's see what he's gonna do now. To be completely honest, he can still do that. Yeah, you know what? He's still in a position. All he has to do is just flip Trevor and attack Denko. Colossalus will be forced to negate, or it'll be forced to make its attack 0, in which you'll just get Altair and, you know what I mean? In main phase 2, you'll just make you'll just make Castel and just spin something. So I'm pretty sure that's what he's gonna do here. He'll just simply try and swing over Denko. Well, first you'll activate the effect. This will proc the negation, right? Now Galileo will have to negate this, otherwise he'll just lose a card in his hand for free. Like, you don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna assume he at some point in the next 4 seconds he'll probably just point to his Colossalus. But now, since you've already used Colossalus effect, all he needs to do, unless he has Valk, all he needs to do is just ram Trevor into the he just rams Trevor into Denko. I mean, yeah, you take some damage, but you're at 8,000 life points, so you don't really care about damage. Oh, he uses Effect Veiler. Wait a minute. That was... Oh my god, that was terrible. Wait, why? What? Wait, why would he use Effect... He's still... Wait, that was terrible. You're still in the same position. That was horrible. Because now all he has to do is simply just... unless he has Valkyris, which if you use Valkyris, like you've used 2 neg-1s this turn. Yeah, all he will do is attack the Denko. Oh my god, why'd you even summon Denko? Why did you even summon Denko if you weren't gonna protect it? And is he gonna honest? I think he's gonna honest. Dude, if he honest, that would be awesome. That would be awesome, because he's already opted not to use the effect. Oh, wait. Oh, and he uses honest. GG. RIP and pepperoni, boys. RIP. Okay, so I have no idea what Galileo is. What was he thinking? Like, I don't understand that at all. Okay, here's the thing. He actually had the hand to play it correctly, right? Like, okay, if he would have had Valkyris, and that still, Valkyris would have only delayed it only would have delayed Trevor, unless you could have made like a Castel or something. But if you made Castel, you'd have to give up your Denko. Like, you needed Denko to stay on the board. He would have had to like summon Unicorn during his next turn, but he already used Kaleidoscope, so like it would have been kind of difficult anyways. If you would have had Valkyris to keep the Denko protected, he would have essentially been using too many neg-1s, because he used Veiler, that's a neg-1. He used Valkyris, that's a neg-1. Because like now you're just bleeding cards out of your hand, and Syunsuke's not losing any advantage. And even when you kill Trevor, it's just going to pay for itself anyways. So like what I realized is all Syunsuke had to do is just ram Trevor into Denko. Oh, you want to use your effect? You want to cut my attack to 0? Okay, that's fine. Trevor's going to activate. I'm going to get an Altair. I'm going to get my Deneb. I'm going to search. Now I'm just going to make Castel, and I'm just going to spend your Denko. And now I'm just going to use my 5 billion traps to beat you, because that's what Tellarknights do. They use their 5 billion traps to beat you. So when he used the Fat Veil, I was like, wait, what? Why wouldn't you just... Because even if you use Veiler, that doesn't stop him from attacking. So he's still just going to do the same play. What you should have done is, you should have just went ahead and used his, you should have used the Colossalus. You should have just dealt with the, well, no, actually, you know what? That doesn't stop it either. Because if he would have gotten out here, he could have just still, even without, yeah, it just dawned on me. Even without Castel, there's what's stopping him from getting Altair, using its effect in Deneb, and still just ramming Altair in the Denko in the battle phase. Like, I didn't even think about that either. Like, you didn't even need Castel. You could just make Altair and just ram that bitch into Denko, and they just would both die, and you'd be at advantage because he already had Oasis of the Dragon Souls from when he first flipped over Trevor, or when he first summoned Trevor. So, like, there was no way Galileo was he wasn't gonna win that match. So we're going into game 3. Yeah, he wasn't going to win that. I didn't like the effect Veiler play. It just seemed silly to me. Maybe he wouldn't have attacked Denko with Altair off of Trevor. Maybe he would have went for the Castel. You could have used effect Veiler on that, which again wouldn't have really stopped the problem, because now, well, no, yeah, it would have, because you could have waited until his next, or until your turn. You could have shrunk down the Castel, and then you could have ran it over with Denko. So yeah, that would have been a better play. But if Syunsuke would have attacked, if he would have ran the Trevor into Denko and just gotten Altair and crashed, like, you lose. Because like, he's gonna get a +1 off of Deneb, and now basically you have the one Colossalus as like your only card that's actually gonna do anything. Now the interesting thing is, there are a lot of auto win cards. The great thing about Galileo's deck is he has even though it's Necro, he has a whole bunch of random shit that seems to be hard to decide for. When you have to deal with the hands and Denko, Like, that's, and Royal Decree, like, it's very difficult to decide because the cards that hit one thing don't hit the other things. You know what I mean? Like, the cards that hit Denko don't hit Royal Decree, and the cards that hit Royal Decree don't hit Denko. So, like, you can side in Chaos Trap Hole, but then what if your opponent summons Fire Hand? Like, what are you gonna do about that? You know what I mean? Now, I wonder if he's even running Manju and Senju, cause like, we haven't even seen him this game. This is the only Necros deck ever without Manju or Senju. Cause in 2 games, he has summoned exactly 0 of them. Now, I still think it's in favor of Tellarknights if he can essentially just play back row. This match will be determined by, can Syunsuke activate his traps freely? If he can activate his traps freely, he'll win the game. Cause Yugioh is gonna have a hard time getting through that fucking back row, but he should have 2 2 ice hands, 3 Royal Decrees, and 3 Denko. So that's 8 cards. If you're playing upstarts, you can get to one of those and your opening hand of 5 cards. So we're going to see who's going first. I think if you're Syunsuke, once again, you choose second. You try and get him to brick, cause seemed like he kind of bricked in that last game. Oh, looks like Syunsuke's going first. That's like the death sentence. I would not want to go first in this matchup. Especially in the last game, how much passing they were doing, like back and forth. You could tell like neither player had a strong hand. So let's see what's gonna happen here. Okay, we got that turn 1 Vega. I think Effect Veiler and Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit will be pretty bad against that. If he's not running, what's it called? Oh, and he has Deneb. Oh, this can be really good. This can be really big for Syunsuke. Mainly because, Tellarknights, they like he's using the Veiler. Okay. Alright, so he's got 5 cards. I think there's a very good chance that he'll go in the, Skybridge! Skybridge! Oh no! And obviously he will still resolve, oh my goodness, Skybridge. So he's still gonna resolve that, actually resolve that Deneb, and what's even better is he'll still be able to go into that, Platinum Ethos, and he'll still be able to make that, Pallades turn 1. Man. Capital G will never, ever talk bad about Skybridge again. I just won't do it. I won't do it. Because apparently this card is making me look like a damn fool. I mean, it's a card that I never considered playing in my Sir Tellarknight deck because I just didn't think that there was a point, but it sure as heck gets around Veiler. And now based on his hand, I think if maybe you had, if you had a really good hand of like, let's say you had like Solemn Warning, Alpha Nova, and like Call to Haunted, I wouldn't go for like Pallades. Actually, never mind. I probably would because I forget you can just bounce. You can bounce Call to Haunted with Pallades. That shit is stupid. But I was thinking maybe you go Tsukuyomi. Nope. Looks like Tsukuyomi is not even a thing in Tellarknights anymore. It's going to set 2 cards. During the end phase, he'll attach something to it. Alright. You see him attach a Trevor. And he'll probably go straight into Constellar Pallades. Maybe not. He might want his opponent to try and commit something first. Now, what's really nuts about Pallades is if you have Fiendish Chain, man. The plays, Pallades just naturally fits in. Pallades just naturally fits into Tellarknights. Like, I know you're not technically supposed to be able to make it, but you can because of a stupid card that Konami designed. Let's see if he has that Fiendish Chain would be huge here. Looks like, okay, he finally does play a Searcher. So he'll be able to get to pretty much anything that he needs. He did start out with a neg 1 of Effect Veiler. Yeah, Fiendish Chain would, I don't want to say Fiendish Chain would have been GG here, but it'd have been damn close to GG. Cause he would have been able to negate the Senju's effect, or that might be Manju, whatever. And then he would have been able to Fiendish Chain, he'd been able to go into Pallades, bounce Fiendish Chain back to his hand, and still kill it, and it just would have been, that's too much advantage at that point. Because not only have you essentially stopped Galileo's, like, you stopped his entire turn, but then you have a Fiendish Chain, like, ready to stop another play. So let's see how much damage he can do. And I'm thinking he's not going into Pallades because, like, he doesn't want to commit to an extra deck monster yet until he knows what he has to deal with. That's the only thing I can think of. And we could probably say that he might not have Alpha Nova either, because he probably would have burnt that shit. Like already having Altair in your hand, like you wanna stop your opponent's normal summon. If they're gonna use their normal summon on a search, like you're definitely like you'll use Nova Alpha every single time. So let's see what he's gonna search. I'm gonna say either Unicorn or the Kaleido Mirror. Now it would be bad if Galio, like if he had what's it called? Like if he had a whole bunch of like Fire Hand and like a whole bunch of monsters in his hand that were not Necros, that would really be bad for him. And he seems not to know what he wants to get here. Usually Necros is pretty straightforward. Maybe he's concerned about that back row. I mean, he knows his opponent has Altair. Like, there's nothing you can do about that unless you like Trishula him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the rules for slow play are in Worlds, but like, are we not on the border of slow play here? Like, come on now. Yes, dude, we've established you're activating the effect, okay? Like, can you fucking search? He's clicking the card. He's like putting his hand on the card. Like, I'm using this effect. Like, okay, we established that like 3 minutes ago. Okay. Like, make your search and continue your play. Cause now you're like bordering on slow play. I think, is that like the flag of Greece or something? Not sure what country. I gotta figure out what country that is. But, yeah, he's definitely slow playing here, this is nothing new to Necros players. Okay, now I'm not sure. I'm just going to turn the volume up because I don't know what's going on. Okay, so he gets a Unicorn. All of that to get a Unicorn. Fantastic. Fantastic. That was a lot of waiting for this dude to get a Unicorn, which is a pretty standard play. What's happening? I'm trying to figure out what happens.
It's definitely not anything serious. At this level, you just be cautious. Caution is a penalty that doesn't really exist outside of this event.
People in the chat, they want a game loss. I'm not 100% sure what happened. If he flipped over his extra deck for some reason or what. I mean, I don't think they're gonna game loss somebody in the world championship. Like, you know what I mean? You're not game loss. I mean, maybe. Rules are rules, right? I don't know. I mean, they had a huge incident. Well, it wasn't a huge incident in the Dragon Duel finals, but there was a serious thing that happened in that match where, one of the kids used Exiton Knights and the other kid had, he had Clearfort Stealth on the field. It was Tribute Summon and he blew it up anyway. And like it ended up making a difference in the match. It shouldn't have died because obviously it's rank 4, Cleafort Stealth level 8, so yeah, it's the thing.
If you want to take something back to your YCSs and the like, that's a good thing to take back.
So I have no idea what's happening. That's the one big issue at Worlds, man. They have to have so many translators. Basically for every single match they have to have translators. So I know like Worlds is a nightmare for Konami to plan. Not only do they have to get these huge international venues, but they got to get translators galore. It's just
It's basically not going to happen at the World Championship, but sometimes small big tournaments where you get a situation where somebody notices a deck error as they're shuffling, but decides not to say anything about it, which.
So I wonder if like Flame Ghost got into his main deck. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Flame Ghost somehow because remember he used Flame Ghost in the last match for Colossalus. I'm thinking it got shuffled back into his deck.
Like, you absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, that's not happening.
So then, I mean, if it's not going to happen, just let him shuffle up and let's go. Alright, so yeah, nothing's happening. That's what I believe happened. I believe that Flame Ghost got put back in his deck because of the last game. He used Flame Ghost to summon Colossalus. There is Kaleido Mirror. And it's probably going to dump himself a Herald of the Arc Light to summon a Necros of the Unicorn. Let's see if Syunsuke actually has any legitimate back row, man, because as of right now, those back row don't seem to be that real. And looks like he's thinking about doing some detaching action. Oh, no. Okay, so he's letting it go. Okay. Alright, there's Herald of the Arc Light. There's the Necros of Unicorn. Obviously, Planemethos' effect is now negated, so that's kind of an issue. And he'll be able to search. I'm going to say he'll probably get the Necros of Trishula. As long as he has the... Oh, no, he's getting the Necros of Bria. Okay, so he's just using that as a placeholder until he gets Sharit. Okay, I'm like, he doesn't quite have the stars to summon Trishula. Now he does with a mirror because he had... Well, not only does he have Sharit in his hand, but he obviously has Colossalus and Brio, that being 9 stars in his graveyard. So let's see if he has that. Okay, there's that Necros cycle. All right. And he's going to summon that Brio. Okay. Searching for Sharit. Feel like he has about 2 cards in hand. Alright, I still think the best play here would be to go for Daigusto Emerald. I mean, just addicted to cards, man. Get as many cards as you can. Alright, it's getting Necros of Trishula. You know, a Brionic would, I mean, a Torrential Tribute would be terrible here. Alright, it's going to power shuffle, despite the fact that it's Necros. They'll probably go back in their deck. Oh, man, I underestimated Necros. I really didn't think that this deck had any chance of winning Worlds, and sure enough, looks like it is going to happen regardless. Doesn't matter what ban list the deck plays under. This shit is just too strong. Alright, so he's going to use the bounce effect. And okay, Alpha Nova is used. I don't like that. I would have used Alpha Nova on... I would have just used it on Manju. Like, I just would have cut off... I would have cut off the entire play. Because now you can just get... there's a good chance you can get Trisht and lose. Now, I feel like he might have Imperial Iron Wall. But yeah, like, honestly, I would have just cut... I don't understand why he just didn't use it on, like, Senju to begin with. Like, why wait so many... He negated the Mirror Force. I mean, excuse me, he negated the... Yeah, I would not have... What's it called? Let's see if he just goes to battle phase. Alright, so he is going to attack. I got that at, what's it called? 37, I think? 23, 14, 37, 5,300. Something like that. So, or 4,700. Yeah, math fail. Math fail. Yeah, there we go. 4,300. Alright, so I feel like he's like maybe we stuck on that card in that it might be Imperial Iron Wall. It could just be me. You see him set 1 card. And alright. Have no idea what the face down is. He has not activated yet. Now, what would be a really good play here is obviously to go Altair, get yourself a Deneb, Let's see. Looks like he's thinking of something. It's Forbidden Chalice. Wow, that was interesting. Okay, so the Nip's not coming out. Here's at 2100. That's not bad attack. Yeah, you can obviously attack over that. Still has 3 cards in hand. You'd have to imagine they're monsters, though. Because he's not setting much. Forbidden Chalice is interesting tech, to say the least. It's not bad. So, he'll take 700. Sets 2 cards, so I guess they weren't monsters. He can't get Trishula now. Doesn't have a hand. But here's the thing. You have to be a little concerned about just a basic battle trap, right? Like, I mean, the Chalice is interesting, but now here is where an Ice Hand could just like win the duel, though. If he has an Ice Hand, he would just win. But if he has like a Mirror Force or a Deep Prison or something, you'd get kind of wrecked. Also, if Syunsuke flips over like a Call to Haunted, he could easily run this shit back. Because you just use the card to essentially stop Altair, but he could just be like Call to Haunted, Altair, Deneb, make like, what's that card? Dark Rebellion, Exceed Dragon, attack over, and then just like spiral out of control and win. So, I mean, he's not going to summon Trishula now. Or maybe he will summon Trishula, like, who knows? Ooh, there's that Iron Imperial Wall. Okay, so that will fizzle. I thought that he had that card, although I feel like it's another card. Alright, so I think, wait, what did you reveal? Trishula and Colossus, okay. Cause like, he would have to he'd have to summon Trishula if possible. Is he gonna flip over that Call to Hunt? Oh, there's Oasis of the Dragon Souls. Dude, I think he's gonna get wrecked. Cause as long as he's playing, cause he knows Galio has nothing to stop him. As long as he's playing, Dark Rebellion Sea Dragon, he's Gucci. Clearly, he has nothing to fear from this. Like, he can get whatever he wants. Actually, fuck that. Wait, whoa. I'm lunching. Okay, never mind. Trevor would get negated. I'm dumb. I'm like, just go for Trevor, but never mind. That would totally get negated. Yeah, just go for Dark Rebellion Sea Dragon. Just attack over it. You could also go for a Luminescent Knight. That wouldn't be terrible here. I would rather have something that could detach, though. Oh, he's playing Regal. Oh my god, this is GG. It's game over. The fact that he's playing Regal that changes everything. Okay, this is GG. Because here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna summon Regal. He's gonna pump it up to, he's gonna pump up the Regal's attack. He's gonna run over, cause Regal goes up to 2400. This is GG. He's gonna run over the Unicorn. He's gonna hit him for, come on, math person. He's gonna hit him for 3200 on top of that. And then he's gonna just Trevor him. He's gonna take out his hand. He's gonna just flip over his card. It's okay. It's game. It's game. It's game. Unless he draws, no, it's game. There's nothing he could draw unless it's like Exodia. This is game. Yeah, this is coming from someone who plays Regal. If he was not playing Regal, this duel would be completely different. But him playing Regal, this is game. The fact that he can make Trevor, there is no coming back from this. He's about to make so much advantage, it's basically over. Considering we know his hand to be Trishula and Colossus, they can't do anything. And he probably, he probably doesn't even know what Regal does. Regal does destroy itself during the end phase, but you don't give a fuck because you're just going to exceed anyways. And I used to tell people all the time when I summon Regal, I'm like, dude, Regal is good because it gets over Unicorn and it gets over Winda. And then you just exceed with it. And now he'll make Trevor. He can just literally reset his cards and you take the Trish or the Colossal. This is game. Konami, this is going to be the duel that gets Trevor limited. Watch. Because me being even a Teller Knight enthusiast, there's no way I could say Trevor's not broken. Trevor has 3 effects and they're all broken. Wait, Trevor has the Giant Trinade effect, take a card out your hand effect, and summon a buddy effect. Yeah. Trevor has 3 effects and they're all obscenely good. So you see people in the chat posting GG, and yeah, again, I think it's GG. There's no Denko can't save him. Trishula can't save him. There's no card in Necros that can save him. Fire Hand, Ice Hand, Like, even Harpy's Feather Duster wouldn't save him, because if you use Harpy's Feather Duster, he would just lose his Trishula to, like, he could possibly lose his Trishula to Trevor. Cause wait a minute, if he had Feather Duster, he could get rid of Iron Wall, and then he could actually, Feather Duster could save him. My bad. Feather Duster and Heavy Storm could save him, actually, cause he could summon Trishula. No, it wouldn't. Cause he couldn't use Trish's effect. Okay, yeah, that's GG. He had Solemn Warning on top of that. He tries to summon Manju, hits it with Solemn Warning. He might as well just discard he's gonna probably go for game here. He should just discard his Trishula, cause he knows that Trevor's gonna take it out of his hands. But yeah, even Feather Duster, cause if he could summon Trishula, it wouldn't banish the Trevor. And if he attacked the Trevor, he'd get Altair back and he could just cast out. So he'd still lose anyway. So that there's no card in Yu-Gi-Oh! That could have saved him, other than Pot of Greed and drawing into 2 other cards. Like, yeah, Pot of Greed into 2 other cards, maybe, but like, there's no one card that could have saved him there. So you see him use Solemn Warning, and yeah, Galio knows that the writing is on the wall, and your new world champion is Syunsuke Hiyama with Sir Tellarknight. So you guys can expect Trevor to get hit. You guys can expect, and you know what? I like that. Galio gives him a round of applause. Obviously some real sportsmanship there. This was a really good match. I did not expect Necros to do this well in the event. I felt like Syunsuke played exceptionally well. I feel Galio played the second match a little awkwardly, but I don't think he was gonna win that match anyway, based on that Denko field. I felt like Trevor was just a hard counter, and you know, the card that really was the difference in this match was Trevor. Like, every time he summoned the card, he won. So, I mean, that shows you something. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. As always, very interesting and exciting World's Championship Finals.